Yeah. Uh-huh. Hey, look, salute. Check this out. It's your guy, ME Drip. We back at it again, Conversations with Drip. And so what I want to talk about today is that I want to get into detail why I wouldn't date or marry someone who's in the active duty of the military. And there are several reasons why, and we're going to go ahead and get to it. But before we go ahead and start diving into it, I want y'all to understand something first. It ain't just military. I'm gonna do a whole nother video as to why I would date, right? And then y'all do your own research and y'all figure out which path you gonna take, right? But it ain't just the military as well. The top three, right? Far as high turnover personnel, I forgot the website where I can get the statistics from. But y'all can research this too. But the highest occupation, well, not the highest, but the top occupation with the most or the highest chance of divorce rate. You got one, no particular order, military. Two, healthcare, doctors, nurses, traveling nurses, healthcare assistants and consultants and stuff like that. And then three, lawyers. And then you got three more, again, no particular order. You got the what's it called? Entertainment industry. And y'all know various people, various different lanes in entertainment industry. And then you got the hospitality industry, like restaurants, casinos, bars, and clubs. And then you got law enforcement and what's it called? First responders. So your police officers, your neighborhood watchers, your firefighters, your private detectives and forensics like that. Any jobs like them that I named with a regular schedule, high levels of stress, and fast pace, and high chance of risking your life, there's going to be a lot of divorces going on in those prospective spaces. But I'm gonna just talk about military. So number one, Ichiban, right? So one thing the military service they deal with is a lot of long deployments. So what comes with them long deployments? So let's say you stay in North Carolina, right? Your unit may hit you up and be like, "Hey, we finna go to Kuwait or we finna go to Thailand or something for a mission or an exercise or whatever you want to call it." And so they could be gone 6 months at a time or a year at a time, and they come back. And then they only there for 3 months, and then they leave again. They come back, and then they gotta leave again, right? So yeah, you may make a lot of money because you're not really spending a lot of money, but the separation that y'all have, it can put a strain on a lot of relationships and make it challenging to have a strong connection because the other person's sitting at home and you hardly ever there and they want you there. So you can't really fulfill that because you always gone, especially if they need it type, right? That it gets even worse. And then the other side to it is even if they ain't needy, right? But it come points and times where they do want that connection. They married you for a reason, they're in a relationship with you for a reason, stuff like that. So if you're not there to, you know, maintain that connection and give them that support and stuff like that, it's gonna be hard for them to support you. So that's reason number one. And it gets worse when you got kids involved too. So whether you a husband or a wife at home, whatever the case may be, and the other person's always on the road and stuff like that, and the person at home is handling all the responsibilities, it can weigh down on them because they start a lot of doubt will creep in their head. They're like, dang, even though we had a family, my intention to have a family, I ain't signed up for all this other stuff. I feel like I'm a single parent. And then once they start sitting back, you're not providing them no support. Sometimes when you're on these long deployments, you can't call them over the phone or, text them or talk to them back. So it's basically you're not even there. So and now they listening to their own voices in their head. And then when you come back home, that's when stuff happens when they start like, cheating and, you know, uh, they hit you up and be like, hey, I'm thinking about, getting a divorce and stuff like that because they can't handle it. And then your life could be at risk too. So when you come home, but I'm gonna get into that later. So Bani or number two, right? When it comes to uh reasons why they tend to break up and divorce, right? It's a lot of relocating going on. A lot of times they move frequently due to changes in duty stations. See, the military they don't let nobody stay at a duty station for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years at a time. It's very rare you will have them the anonymous. It's very rare you will have people that can be able to do that. A lot of times, the most they'll let you stay there is 2 to 3 years max, and you bounce. And so, and sometimes when you with your, depending on who you with, right? If you're not a part of the military and you dating somebody in the military, they ain't gonna pay for you to come out there so wherever that person is at. So you gotta come up with the money and put your own bread into it, or he got to use some of his money that he got and then put it into you so you could come out there, right? And so a lot of times they could like mess up y'all support networks and it make it hard for spouses to maintain stable employment, which is another reason, right? Because they're always bouncing around and stuff like that. So it's hard for the spouse to get consistent employment and try to have their career develop because they putting their career on the back burner for you, right? Because you got to move every 2 to 3 years, and in the civilian world, especially you a civilian, right? A lot of them, you want a career, they want to be there at least 5 years, and 4 to 5 years, right? Because when you do 4 to 5 years in a career, especially for the ones who got degrees and stuff like that, your money is starting to even out at that point. When you get to like your mid 20s or however old you may be, like your money starts to even out because you bounce back from all the years you in college debt, right? So it's hard to do that or to get to that point where you even out when you always flip flopping everywhere. And then it can affect your resume too in the future when you looking to farther your career because they gonna be like, dang, like why you guys, yeah, your husband military for 16 years, but like why you got 12 different jobs? Like yeah, sometimes it could look good, like you get a lot of different experience, but then they look at it, they'll question your loyalty, like, dang, you can't stay nowhere. Like, what's going on? So they could hurt your career development. And then the other one is you got a lot of stress and trauma, right? So, being inside the military, it'd be physical, demanding, emotional, demanding, and then whoever you dating is in the military, they always exposed to high levels of stress and trauma, whether it's through their peers, through their higher ups, through the people that ranks up under them or themselves, and then they got to probably deal with your level of stress and trauma. So it can cause a lot of mental health issues. They can have PTSD, eating disorders, anxiety, depression, and stuff like that. And it can cause strain on a lot of relationships too because of what they have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. Right? Yeah, I ain't got to go too much into detail about what the military deal with because y'all hear the stories. Y'all can research. People will tell you everything you need to know. Is the information is already out there, right? And then Banyon, number 4, right? So the work-life balance. So the demands of the military, right? Another downside to why I wouldn't date somebody that's in the military or marijuana is because they got long, unpredictable hours and they signed their contract, so they have to prioritize their work, right? So it makes it hard for them to balance their work and their personal life responsibilities, right? Because they have to serve that contract. So meaning, I'm giving an example, right? It could be Saturday, right? Because that's when a lot of families get their we time. So they could be out in town, going out to eat, relaxing, or they could be in the bed, they could be, getting their rocks off, shooting up the club and stuff like that, or they could be spending time with their kids, helping them with homework, or just, going out sightseeing, or they could be in the bed, sleeping all day, cooking, various different things they be doing, you know what I'm saying? And then they'll get a phone call. Beep, 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 beep. They get their phone call, they be like, hey, hello? Hey, hey, Sergeant Rogers. Yeah, what's up? Hey, Sergeant Major or Sergeant First Class. They finna go out on deployment this weekend. They need you to come in the office and make sure he get his per diem. So I need you to come in within the next hour and take care of this paperwork. Roger that, guard sergeant. Then boom, now he got to go into work. So it disrupts your whole family rhythm. He can't say no because if you say no, that's in the contract. You disobeyed a lawful order. So now he got to go into work, and now he may have to work 3, 4, 5, another 6 hours, and you probably sitting in the bed, y'all had stuff planned, y'all wanted to do certain things, or y'all was in the moment and y'all was finna get y'all rocks off and y'all, one arm on top and you on the bottom, y'all see y'all phone ring, y'all look on, y'all be like, dang, this Gurney Sergeant finna call. Now he went from this and he got the limp. You know what I'm saying? So that's another one, like it could affect the work life balance. And then another part to it is the financial strain, right? So someone can face a lot of challenges, right? Because especially the people that's on the lower side, like on the lower ranking and stuff like that, financial stress, right? It can like put a strain on relationships because it could be various reasons why the finances. Like one thing the military does great, they gonna always pay. You get paid twice a month. You gonna always get paid. But however, like if especially it can happen whether you're military or not, but if you're a civilian and you date in the military, right, it could eat up his money, especially if he or her money, especially on the lower rank, right? Because let's say y'all together, you got you an apartment down in town and stuff like that. Apartment, maybe 1,500, like or a house 1,500, and you got to buy food and groceries and stuff like that. And especially if you don't work, like it could cause a lot of strain because now he's stuck, paying the bills, whatever the case may be, or her. And then you got some people they have financial issues because it's the most money they made in their life, and now they just spending it every weekend. They got a spending problem. And then you got some who I've heard this happen too. Like they'll get their check and then they'll send a lot of their money home back to their parents and stuff. So now they taking care of their folks back home, just because they got the money. And now they ain't got no money for to spend within y'all household because they sending the money elsewhere and stuff like that. And that could cause a lot of issues in, them relationships in the military. And then the last one, local bond, number 6, right? In the past, like, back then, you could say like in the early 2000s and maybe in the 20th century, like in the 80s and 70s and stuff like that, they had a lack of support, like far as programs and resources to help them like navigate through the military life. Uh, Now recent years they got better with that, providing behavioral health programs and marital counseling, single military programs. Uh, the therapists they've been investing a lot more into the healthcare system, getting better qualified therapists and stuff like that. But sometimes they can feel that they have a lack, even with all that, sometimes people feel like they have a lack of support because they always moving around and it's hard, especially if you married to this military person and you got trust issues. Because some of them that be married to them, they come into the relationship with trust issues because they probably been raped, abused, trafficked, or they had trauma growing up as a kid and stuff like that. So it's hard trusting people. So now they don't want to they're not gonna be as assertive as far as reaching out and asking for help because it ain't really the cool thing to ask for help. A lot of times, it's cool to just suck it up and keep it on pushing, which that really ain't the way. So a lot of times they gonna feel that they don't have their support. The only support they feel that they do have is you, and when you not there, then that's when a lot of stuff start changing. Attitudes start to get more nasty. They get impatient. They start to do things out of impulse, right? And it's not really because of you. It's more so because of the situation. And sometimes, like when you ain't communicating throughout them situations, right? Nothing else. In the end, it just all gets ugly, and then it just boils down to the haywire, right? So, like that's like the reason why I want to date. Yeah. So yeah, like I'm gonna give y'all a solution. Like if I was to go into this situation, right? Because I know some of y'all gonna want to do it anyway. So if y'all do, want to get married and stuff like that, or date in the military, which it's fine. You do what you want, right? Before I would do anything as far as commit to anybody, I would need to make a commitment to myself. Y'all need to do a better job in marrying yourselves, right? A lot of times y'all ain't even man or woman of y'all own word. How many times have y'all told somebody y'all was gonna do something and y'all haven't even do it? Y'all didn't even do it. Whether it's say you're gonna meet up with somebody, go out on a date, or finish that paperwork on your job, or you even told yourself, you was like, I'm finna go do this one day. I'm finna go do that one day. And then that one day turned into 3, 5 years. Y'all haven't even done it. Like y'all got to start doing a better job and making commitments, like to yourselves, and like, being a man and woman of y'all word and building credibility with yourselves when it comes to y'all word. Because if y'all can't do something as small as that, take y'all own word seriously, right? It definitely ain't finna work when y'all in the household of 2 people. Because if you can't show up for yourself, how can you show up for somebody else? That's one. Two, like another thing, I was telling I was telling a lady the other day at this restaurant, it was a couple of weeks ago, right? I may have a controversial opinion on this, but I think when you get married, I think you need to be a roommate first. When you with a roommate, and I'm not talking about your mama and daddy and stuff like that, that's different because y'all all share the same culture and norms and stuff like that. Y'all share the same belief system. You need to be a roommate with somebody totally different, right? Because what it does is it gives you a better understanding. It's not about where you're from, it's where you at. And it teaches you how to have teamwork. So y'all need to know how to like even excuse me, like even I ain't going to school myself out of it. I'm gonna say we gotta focus on being the best team possible. A lot of times we too stuck up on being independent. And when you get into a marriage, like I say, it's not about me time, it's about we time. Like, and when you and a roommate, you focus on like you teach you how to put your ego to the side on certain things, right? If y'all want to be successful roommates without fighting and want to kill each other and talk bad about each other, have a lot of drama and stuff like that. Uh, but if you focus on being a good roommate, eh, you're gonna be solid because if you can't be a good roommate when y'all in separate bedrooms and sometimes separate bathrooms and stuff like that, what's gonna happen when you share a lot of space with the person you want to be with that you say till death do us part, right? So I think you being a roommate, like you need to focus on being a good roommate. And so I'm gonna tell you how you can be a good roommate, right? Like clean up after yourself, make sure uh bathroom, yeah, clean up after yourself, make sure the whole entire place is clean. Hey, if your roommate stuff dirty and it stinks up the house and you got you got washing powder and stuff like that. Sometimes I ain't saying do it all the time. Sometimes it ain't gonna hurt to be like, you know what, his stuff stink. I'm tired of it stinking. Let me go ahead and dump his stuff in the washer or her stuff in the washer. Separate from my clothes. Let me go ahead and wash these stuff. Then they come in like, yo, hey bro, hey sis, I had washed your clothes like because it was stinking up the house. Like start like if you cook food, right? If you cook food, like ain't no gonna hurt you like to tell your roommate like, yo, like, I got some food for you on the counter, man or woman. Hey, go and get you some food on the counter, right? So thinking about we instead of always I. Well, they ain't got nothing to do with me. Yeah, that's their fault. You a grown man, you a grown woman. I ain't finna be babysitting and stuff like that. Yes, that's true to a certain extent, but sometimes you just gotta have initiative and show that you actually care. Because when you get with somebody that you love and you say to death do us part, like you got to do stuff like that. Because what if the other person gone all day, like the military, they on the road for long hours and stuff like that, and they got sheets on the bed and stuff, they haven't got around to wash it. Somebody gonna have to pick it up unless y'all gonna have roaches and flies and stuff all up in the house. Like, you know, focus on being a good roommate. That's two. Three, like the other one is build good habits with yourself, right? So when it comes to building good habits, make sure you have a perfect day with yourself. Like when you wake up in the morning, do you have $1 million routine, right? When you wake up in the morning, are you getting up? Are you stretching? Do you drink you some fluid, some hydration? Are you in the bathroom brushing your teeth properly? Do you fold your clothes up when you get out the shower? Make sure your house is decent before you leave the house. Are you flossing your teeth? Making sure even the bed is somewhat decent or the house look decent. Like, are you doing the little things like as far as your habits throughout the day, right? Like you get home, is the house still clean? Did you eat you a good meal? Did you work out? Like, did you take a bath? Did you take a shower, right? Did you pray? Like, did you do the thing that you said you were gonna do as far as researching it? Or you was gonna go to this movie theater or this ballpark game and stuff like that? Did you have a complete day for yourself? Because a lot of time, a lot of y'all, a lot of us too, we come home, we be like, dang, I forgot to do this. Dang, I forgot to do that. Yeah, I need to go do this. I need to go there, but I ain't get it done. And now y'all in the bed, y'all twisting and turning all night. And the reason why y'all twisting and turning all night, because y'all ain't getting nothing done all day. So, like, focus on trying to build good habits, good routines with yourself. And the other thing is like I would like focus on investing in myself, right? A lot of us we think just because we got the car, the house, the clothes, and a good job, we think that's it, right? That's just the bare minimum. You just surviving, right? When you get that, basically just shows that you can do the bare minimum, which is the basics as far as supporting yourself, right? And what I mean by investing in yourself, I'm not just talking about investing in yourself to get a financial gain. Yes, that is important. You do want to have another stream of income coming in, but like, what are some other ways you're investing in yourself? Are you going to buy you some teeth wipes? Are you getting that lip chap for your lips? Are you putting your lip chap on 3 times, 4 times a day when your lips get dry and stuff like that instead of just doing it in the morning, right? Are you going to cooking classes, learning how to cook? Are you going to sewing classes, learning how to sew? Are you watching, researching videos on YouTube and Google and stuff, learning new information? Are you reading books? Are you developing your soft skill, your communication skills? Are you developing your network? Are you going to CPR classes, baby classes, what's it called? Domestic violence classes, getting your anger management. Are you going to your hypnotherapy? Right? What are ways that you invest in yourself? See, I'm going deep for a reason because a lot of times we say investing in ourselves, we thinking about money and stuff like that. But it's so much more to money. Are you learning how to grow your food? Are you learning how to, make sure your fingernails clean? Are you getting your massages regularly? Are you going and doing a checkup with a doctor? Make sure you ain't got the Batman forever or stuck with that dot, aka that STD. Like, or are you making sure your kidneys up to date? Are you making sure your liver's up to date? Your blood and sugar levels are regulated? Are you even learning about your body, right? Like, are you even studying about the person's like the woman body or the man body that you say you want to like be with, right? Because here's another thing: when you with the other person, you have to know yourself and them, right? How can you put your mouth on something and screw on something you don't know nothing about it? Ain't y'all grandma taught y'all better? Or why? I know they probably taught y'all don't put nothing in y'all mouth. Y'all don't know nothing about it. So why y'all gonna do the same thing like in y'all relationship? So that's another like y'all gotta invest in yourself in various different ways. Don't just settle for just the job, the car, and stuff like that. Like actually, build your mind up. Read. Like, do you know about the various different type of insurance policies and stuff like that? You know the difference between whole life, term life, universal, insurance policies. See, I'm throwing a lot of different ones out there because I'm hoping I'm beating it into y'all head to get y'all gears going. Do y'all know about the different type of art galleries and going into how they could be a tax write-off? Are y'all trying to research how, to build a corporate structure and stuff like that? Do y'all know how to change a tire on y'all car? Do y'all know how to do an oil change? You know what I'm saying? Do y'all know about uh state laws, or do y'all know about the crimes and stuff that go on in the area? Do y'all know about certain different types of websites where if somebody was to ask you for a favor, you can be able to get to it like just like that within a blink and a snap of an eye and a snap of a finger. You know what I'm saying? So that's another like investing. Y'all say focus on building a great you, develop you. Because what's gonna happen is when you start developing you and building you, right, you're gonna start to attract what you already are. So if you active, right, you're gonna remain attractive. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna get good quality yourself, and then we're gonna have a lot more better, situations that go around. So if you already, a man or a woman of value, and you get into a situation where you do date a military person or stuff like that, you'll have a lot more empathy because you already been a roommate. You understand what it's like to be a good team and put your ego to the side. You put value, you invested in yourself, so you understand like being a teacher and things, stuff like that, and having situational awareness and know how to properly react to certain situations and stuff like that. So when you get into these marriages and these relationships with the other person, things run a lot smoother. But we can't do that because we all out of whack ourselves. We got trust issues. We got behavior disorders, ADHD. We sick. We got a lot of mucus in our body. We barely want to work out. You know, even if we do work out, like that's it. Like we halfway work out. We only work out our shoulders, our upper body, especially the men. Your shoulders and your upper body, and then your legs be like pencils and stuff like that. Like we gotta do better. So them the four things I would do before I get into a relationship whenever I make sure I'm straight as far as my life, make sure I'm well rounded. Now, sometimes it ain't gonna always be perfect timing, right? But what you can do, control, is make sure you in the best position possible to get the best outcome possible. So, like I said, I'm gonna do another video, y'all, about why I would, date military personnel. But they're just, y'all just listen to drip perspective on these conversations and topics and stuff like that. So I got more conversations. If y'all have more stuff y'all want me to talk about, shoot me a DM or hit me an inbox, leave it in the comment section, whatever case may be. I see it to it. But in the meantime, I want y'all to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and make sure y'all do me a very special favor. Hit that share button. Hey, till then, until next time, tap in, lock in, tune in. Salute. Drip. Yeah.